The Horrible Gamers podcast may contain content not suitable for all ages. Listener discretion is advised.
Horrible Gamers Spotlight. Today I have the crew plus our Spotlight member from the community. Today, people, I'm joined by a very special person. But first off, let's start off by introducing ourselves. I am Jesus Walks Lot, you know me, the host of the show, and I'm joined by my Canadian friend Ryan Gibson, Gib877777. Welcome back, Ryan.
What's going on, everybody? Another Spotlight show. Let's do this.
Right. And from the West Coast to Best Coast, Gunny Chief is here. Welcome back, Gunny.
Hey, I'm here. What are we doing? Are we roasting someone?
No. This is not what you do on this show, Gunny. Calm down. And the community member joining us today is Brian Tulp Jr., gamertag G55Train55. Welcome, Brian. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. It's much appreciated.
Yeah, thank you for finally joining us, man. We've been trying to get you on here for a bit. We're glad you decided to come on. So we're going to talk about you today.
I couldn't help it. Mark called me out so bad. I felt horrible. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I'm both throwing you down a well with no lassie.
I got the first question for you. Have you been giving them questions on TXL?
When they ask for questions in Facebook, I post a Facebook question for them. But only one. I stick to the same rules, just one, right? I don't want to scare them off, right?
Yeah. We're like, we didn't get any questions this week.
Awesome. Good stuff. Go listen to those guys, this Xbox Live podcast. Guys, let's talk about Brian real quick. So, Brian, tell us about yourself. So, your gamer tag's G55Train55. Why is it that? Why is that gamer tag your gamer tag?
Well, my nickname is Gravy Train. Because I move like gravy, but I hit like a train.
There you go.
That's how I come up with G-Train, and 55 has always been my lucky number. So my original Xbox, the gamer tag on there is G-Train. Then on the 360, it's G55Train. And then for some reason, when I bought the Xbox One, it wouldn't let me load the system in right, so I just added a new gamer tag. I figured I wasn't concerned about achievements, so...
Oh, wow. So you just straight up abandoned your old gamer tag?
Nobody's giving you blowjobs for achievements, right? So let's be honest.
Man, that's crazy. Like, I don't know if I could abandon my gamer tag. I probably couldn't.
Yeah, I got too much invested in it now.
Like, doing the show and everything. Everybody knows me as Jesus Walks a lot. I would imagine if I changed it all of a sudden to like Jesus Walks Never sometimes. Or something, or sometimes, or slowly, or
sits a lot,
just walks slowly,
smokes a lot.
Yeah, it wouldn't work. It doesn't sound as cool, man.
But podcasts a lot.
There you go. That's awesome, man. I'm glad that's a pretty cool gamer tag you got there. So, real quick, Brian, I want you to tell me what started you in gaming.
Well, I went over to a cousin's house for Christmas, and they had gotten a Nintendo one year for Christmas. And I was just pissing around, and my parents couldn't believe how much I took to it. So then that next Christmas, so that would be 87, they got the Nintendo. 88, we got the Nintendo with Duck Hunt. So, fucking Nintendo.
Awesome, man. So Nintendo started doing gaming, huh? So ever since then, you've been playing games ever since? Like, you never stopped?
No, I haven't really stopped. I had the Nintendo. Then we moved out to the country, so we lived in the city, we moved to the country, and I got my first computer. So I played lots of downloadable games there. And then I got an Xbox, and then just 360, and now the One, and now One S. So
awesome. Do you plan on getting the X anytime soon?
Not anytime soon. I got a 65-inch 4K TV. I just don't see it enough of an upgrade.
Oh, it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful.
Oh yeah, I don't know about that, man. I don't know.
Yeah, you might.
If you have a 4K TV, not having an X is a shame.
So you do have...
but I'm on this side of the fence, right? I don't know how good it looks, so I can throw the stone right now, right? It seems like, and I'm like, why didn't I do this earlier? But
yeah.
But you do have the S, so you do have the HDR for some games. So
that's at least a good upgrade. So
yeah. Well, our original Xbox One, my son won through football. They did you had to just raise money, so I literally took him for fucking like 2 weeks. Every night after school, we walked house to house. He raised like $1,400, and that's how he won the first Xbox One. Nice. Yeah, I think I shed about 50 pounds for that Xbox, the fucking thing. And now I think it's helped me pack on an extra 100. So I say,
awesome. Yeah, that's
so
cool, man.
Hey, speaking of winning things, you have like a golden horseshoe up your ass. You win stuff constantly.
Yes, I do.
Like, it's insane.
In, like, every contest known to man. Right now, I'm doing I just got off the phone. I was doing Find Giuseppe. You know those Giuseppe mini pizzas you can buy?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they do a contest right now. You can find him, and it's for a chance to win a new Dodge Caravan or $10,000 cash or an Xbox.
Yeah.
So I'm just flooding it every day, just trying to win another Xbox. So, yeah.
Watch him win the $10,000.
I'm fine with that too. So I figure
if he gets $10,000, he can buy himself an X.
There you go.
Yeah.
No excuses then.
All of them.
Yeah, that's right.
Awesome, man. That's cool. So tell me, what is the platform that you prefer to play games on?
Well, we just have the Xbox in the house. Like I said, I got an HP mini computer that I'm shocked even runs Skype. So, I just do taxes on this piece of shit, and that's all I do on it. And then, so we just run Xbox in this house. When the wife moved in, she had a PlayStation, but I owned every game on Xbox, so we just constantly played on Xbox. And I'm like, why are we keeping this thing? So we ditched the PlayStation, and we've just been Xbox since. So that's been 05. So
Wow. Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy. So like, there's never a moment when you're playing games and you look over at the other side and you're like, man, I kind of want to play that, but I can't because I'm on Xbox.
No, kind of like you guys were describing in the podcast, where I don't play something usually too long anyways. So I figure when I look at it, I'm like, well, that's $80. Then within a month, I'm usually done with it, moving on to something new anyways. Yeah. So I'm like, nah, there's nothing, and usually there's a comparable, right? Like, the exclusives on PlayStation or the exclusives on PC are usually not much better than something else you can't get on Xbox anyway. So I figure I just look at it as that's another $500 system plus $80 for a game that's going to sit there and collect dust. So you can't do that.
Do you kind of see that with maybe with your preferences with the Switch or VR or something? Do you kind of look at it where it's like, ouch, that's going to cost more than what enjoyment I'll get out of it?
We were just walking through Walmart yesterday, and the kids seen the big Switch. They're big Nintendo fans. So they see the Switch, like, Dad, can we buy a Switch? And this other family was picking one up. I'm like, I ain't buying no goddamn Switch. I'm like, they're $400, and there's 2 fucking games for it. Not in this lifetime. And the dad just starts laughing, and then the mother's like, so I take it that means we're not getting one today. He's like, not after that comment. I'm like, yes.
You lost Nintendo itself. Oh, man. Poor kid. Whoever was the kid with them. He's probably
I feel so bad for that kid.
He's probably so excited at the moment. He's like, oh, man.
I must say, I kind of cost Xbox a sale, too, at Christmas or Thanksgiving when we were in Sandusky. This kid was trying to pitch his dad on buying an X for Christmas. And the dad's asking him what the difference between the X and the S is. And I'm standing there and I'm kind of looking at stuff, and the kid can't really explain it. And I'm like, well, I can explain it to it because you guys have talked about it so freaking much. I'm like, well, it's all about this vapor chamber and the greatness of the vapor chamber. And he's just looking at me, and I'm like, no. I'm like, basically the difference is everything's in 4K, native 4K, as opposed to, just upscaling it to 4K. And he's like, oh, I said, so if you don't have a 4K TV, this box is basically going to be useless to you. It's just a waste of money. And I said, if you want, I said, there's a nice 4K TV around the corner if you want. The guy's like, well, that might be an option instead. So I did kind of cost Xbox a sale at Christmas time too, but it's the honest, cheap Dutchman in me, right? So can't help it.
Man, that's horrible. What are you doing?
Those poor kids.
I know, you're destroying kids' hopes and dreams of getting a new console.
You're destroying the future of gaming, man. How can you do
They went out crying.
They're never going to be gamers again. It's just like, no.
They could have been the next big esports gamer, and you just killed them.
Hey,
Now their parents are going to buy them a stupid art set or something to draw, and they're going to just be painters or something in the future. That's not cool, man.
Well, no, the kid sat there, and then the dad's like, well, maybe we can get a 4K TV. So the kids seem kind of more happy.
Okay.
Yeah,
He's
he's
a brand new
getting
4K TV. So, I don't know. Then you can ask for the Xbox next year. It'll probably be $100 cheaper and come with a game. So,
Yeah.
That's kind of how I looked at it too. So.
Awesome. So next question, Brian. Next question. Do you consider yourself to be a gamer? Whoa. Alarm went off. Alarm.
That's my alarm to tell me, hey, you dumbass, it's almost 2 o'clock. You're supposed to be on Skype. So, I do consider myself a gamer. I've gotten back into it quite a bit more in the last year and a half because my kids are older. I have a 10-year-old and an 8-year-old now. Before, I kind of really didn't want to play too much stuff in front of them because there's some shit that's just get too crazy at times, and since you can't predict kind of what's going on, I'm just like, okay, so I just had like Forza, and I just pick away at that, but now it's like, now we have Star Wars, and the kids play Plants vs. Zombies, and they're into fucking Minecraft, that fucking horrible game. I swear, if I got locked in a small room with that guy who created that game, he would never be seen from again. I swear to God.
Why so much anger towards Minecraft?
They want me to play, and I'm like, I just don't want to learn, right? Because I'm like, if I want to build something, I just want to get Legos out and build it out of Legos.
It's the same thing, dude. It's the same thing.
No, if I can do, because I can build my Legos and watch a sports game at the same time. Right?
You could play Minecraft and watch a sports game at the same time. You just need 2 TVs. I can do that right here. I could watch a sports game right here and play a game over here if I wanted to.
I don't know. It's just not my thing, and looking at it, and I'm going like, ugh. I don't know. It's not my thing. The kids love it, so I don't care. I'll buy them whatever the hell they want. As long as it shuts them up and gets them to leave me alone.
Maybe you'll like it, man. Maybe you'll like it. I remember Minecraft when it first came out. I had a friend of mine who, he's not really a gamer, but he plays games on and off. And he's always been like kind of like a secret gamer, right? Where like he'll play like Skyrim forever, but he won't play like other games. Or he'll play Call of Duty, but he won't play other games. I remember when Minecraft first came out, he got really into it. He's like, dude, I got to show you this thing on PC. Look at this. It's called Minecraft. I'm like, what the fuck? So it was like back in like 2010 or 2011 when it was like a little indie game, right? He's like, yeah, you pay $20 to these guys, and they send you like the code to download this game and check it out. And I remember like, what the fuck is this? And he's like, dude, it's like Legos, but in a game. I was like, oh, okay. And I kind of got into it at that point. That's when I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. And it's crazy how much it blew up after that, because after that it's when it just went crazy big.
Well, the wife's gotten into it. The wife will play it with the kids. Like, we own it on iPhone, iPad, and Xbox 360 and Xbox One. So we're well covered. We own it, all the expansion packs.
Yeah.
The Minecraft story mode, they own all that stuff. So it keeps them busy. It keeps them out of trouble.
Yeah.
The wife knows how to play it, so that's good enough. If she knows how to play it, it's good enough. I don't need to learn. So
it's very simple, man.
Yeah,
it's not hard.
Especially creative mode. You just get in there and build stuff.
Ryan, I have a question. Since you're not a fan of Minecraft, but do you see games like, for example, the vanilla Fortnite game, or even like Fallout 4, where they came out and they're just like, look, you can create things and build on top of your, different fortresses and stuff like that. You kind of look at that and kind of go, well, that was inspired by Minecraft, or is that different?
No, see, I look at that as kind of different, right? Because, like, for me, like, Fortnite was fun because they came out with the Battle Royale after PUBG came out, and they just freed it for everybody and said, here you go, play it just to pull people in, which was awesome, right?
Yeah.
Because that really helped people like us at that time who couldn't get PUBG because we're not a PC gamer, fucking bastards. And they, so it was good. It was something fun and it was different to do. Now, I had watched Ryan play Fortnite and do the building, him and Wingman, and kind of coordinating. I kind of looked at it and I went, that's still not for me. Like, I just don't really, like, the whole build something and defend thing doesn't really do it. Now, I would rather play, like, City Skylines or Sim City, build a city. I'm fine with that. But build something just to watch it get torn down, I'm like, nah, no, not my thing. So that's life.
Well, yeah, I'm sure it shouldn't get torn down if you set up enough traps and stuff. That's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but it's just like you were saying with Metal Gear, right? So how it's just become, it's such a, like copy and paste kind of thing. It's like at some point in time, you just get sick of seeing the same thing, just with a different skin on it. Like, I don't care at some point in time, right? So I'm just like, nah, it's all the same. Smile and nod and move on to something else.
I feel like that's going to happen to PUBG with all these other games copying it, man. There's so many copies of that thing now. It's crazy.
Hey, but maybe we'll come back around and we'll just be left right at where PUBG is. There's no crafting and building. It's just straight run and gun, go for the circle. Super simple.
Yeah, I like that. So Brian, now my next question for you is, since you prefer an Xbox platform, as you said, do you see yourself ever getting like a PlayStation 4 at all? At all?
No, I don't. And I'm not a VR person at all. Like with Jonathan and his future headset one there. When I watched that and I went, the first time the wife comes in and sees me doing that, she's going to be like, no, not happening. So I can't pitch the wife on that one. So I'm like, no. And I don't really I've done the whole VR thing before. It's not my thing. I'm not a things tight to my face making me really hot don't really do it for me. So, unless it's a vagina sitting on my face, I don't want it that close, right? Don't blush.
Yeah, all right.
Don't blush. Come on now.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Okay, so you said you consider yourself being a gamer. How often do you play video games?
Like I said, I took a break here the last maybe 5 years or so because the kids were so little and we were running around doing stuff and it was just, you're doing homework and that. The last couple of years, I've probably been plugging away at about 20 hours a week.
Wow.
So not too much, just it's like, I come home, play maybe an hour, ship the kids off to school. We come back, we'll play an hour or so together and then maybe another hour another time or whatever. But it's been pretty good. I've been plugging away at Forza thanks to Mark. So doing the whole just, a race here, a race there kind of thing. So it's been all right.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's one game I like going back to on Mondays and then maybe a Wednesday and then a Saturday. So that's something I can always go back to and do one race, complete it.
Well, and that's just it. You can never forget the controls. Pull one finger, move the other one. It's not difficult, right? Like,
yeah,
you can't fuck it up.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Okay, so 20 hours a week. That's pretty good, man. I would say that's above average, right, guys? I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, because average I would say is probably like 15 hours a week.
Average is low, man. Like you would be surprised.
Yeah. And most people don't play that much. They'll play like 2 hours, 3, 4, 5 hours a week, or 1 hour a day or something like that. But you're doing pretty good there, Brian. Pretty good. Let's move on to the next
Trying to
question.
catch back up. That's what it is. How many goddamn questions are there? Holy fuck.
Have a lot.
These are like Brian Tulp questions. These are like
retarded. This is just a never-ending question comment now. Like, holy crap.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So now you know how it feels.
Yeah.
It's all good. No worries. I had said to Jesus, ask as many questions and whatever question as you want. I'm an open book. I really don't care. It's all good.
We really should have posted to the community asking for questions for Brian.
You should post it right now. In case we get some right now real quick. Do it, Gunny. Do it. Post it in the group. Ask for questions. Ask for questions for Brian
Tulp Jr.
I'm going in there right now.
Do it. So next question, Brian, while we're on the show right now. So you said you play 20 hours a week. So does that make you proud? Does it make you ashamed? Does it make you indifferent on how often you play games? I mean, is there ever a moment where you play a game or you play so many games or so long that you're just like, man, I really should be doing something with my life?
No, because I've kind of like I say, like my kids are older, so we kind of play together now. Where before we were playing, toy trucks, toy cars. Now we've moved into gaming, right? So it's like you know, like I'll sit there and play a match with my oldest. Then my youngest will come and play a match with my oldest, and then the oldest will go, and then me and the youngest will play a match, say in Star Wars, or we'll do a racetrack, Forza, and we'll race around a couple of laps, and then we'll switch in and out. So we constantly keep changing now. They will play doing their Minecraft and be all excited about building something. So I'll go look at what they build, but like I say, I don't want to play, but you know, so we play together. It's kind of different, and we talk about stuff, and you know, it's easy. It catches them kind of off guard. It's easy to get them to open up. It's not the whole old school sit at the dinner table. How was your day? We're playing video games and we talk about it, right? So
old school. I haven't ate dinner at a table for like the longest time now, man.
Yeah, man.
I cannot think of the last time I ate dinner at a table. Fuck.
We own a kitchen table. It gets cleared off for like Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah.
That's the list.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's got coats on it and backpacks on it, and that's about it. It's like it's useless other than that. So
It's a place to store stuff.
yeah,
Extra shelf in the kitchen.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, awesome. Let's move on, guys. Moving on. Do you enjoy playing video games with people online or in person?
I'm kind of a both person. Like, I like playing with my kids, so it's easy to play offline because there's two of us in the house. It's pretty easy, and they're pretty much into, you know, they're one of those, they're following dad at this moment, right? So dad's into this game, so they're going to be into this game. So they like playing that kind of stuff. So we do that, but I do enjoy getting on, like, Forza and playing with Alan and his brother and all those kind of guys for something different and a different challenge, right? Like, if you just keep playing the same people all the time and you just keep beating them down all the time, because you can't let your kids win, right? Like, you can't let your kids win. People, like, grow up. Teach them to lose sometimes. Sorry, buddy. Dad got a headshot. That's now my problem, right? Like, that's your brain splattered across the ground, not mine, right?
Yeah.
And it will make them happier when they do win legit, because then you're like, well, you won that legit. You got to take that, right? If you just constantly let them win just because, well, then you're just raising a cupcake. So, you know, damn snowflakes.
Wow. Wow. Okay. So,
but I do enjoy playing online with other people that are older. So, you know, you can talk some trash talk and shit like that. And then when you do beat them, you know, when they talk trash, it's like, look at the final score. You know, that's always been the way I am. I talk a little trash, but at the end of the day, I'm more about let's see at the end of the score what it looks like, right? So.
Okay. Question number 5 for you, Brian. Why do you play video games? What is it about them? Do you do it to, like, to release stress, to just get out of the world? You know, I don't know, you don't like the news, you hate what you see on the news, and you're just like, I need to play something that'll make me happy, and you go play it, or do you just play it to pass time? Why do you play games?
It depends on the game. Like playing Forza, I like driving some of those expensive cars that I know my fat ass could never ever fit in, right? Like at 6'2", 280, I'm not fitting in a Lambo too comfy. We've been to the auto show. It's not a comfy ride, right? Like I look like that bear on the tricycle, right? I'm like, I couldn't drive this car, even though I know how. I can't, right? So it's nice to drive those kind of things, get the sense of the speed, so to speak. You know, like doing 280 mile an hour. You're like, holy fuck, you know, like.
Yeah.
So that's
S2
fun.
class, right?
Yeah, that's right. So it's enjoyable that way for those games. Star Wars I enjoy playing just to be in that kind of universe, right? Like, I'm a Star Wars fan, so to be immersed into that universe, playing as Darth Vader, playing as just a stormtrooper, just to do that is something different, right? I'm not a big hunting guy. I'm not a gun promoting type of person. We own pellet guns on the farm, but that was about as much as it was. So to shoot a gun, see somebody die, it's something different too, right? So it's nothing I would do in real life either or, so we just do it here to have fun and something different to do, because we live in a small city, 40,000 people. Our biggest excitement is a movie theater. Like, there's just not much going on here, right? So
yeah, you really gotta go on a trek to get anywhere from where you're at.
yeah, basically I'm an hour to 3 hours away from doing something fun at all times. So, you know.
I see.
And you're probably about what, like 4 hours away from me?
2.5 the way I drive. Forza has helped me open up and realize my true potential. So I'm like 2.5, 3. Because
couldn't you just toboggan over there?
I wish I could.
Sled your way over with a dog?
Ryan might be able to sled to me. I couldn't sled to him. I live in a low-lying, like, if I look in any which direction, if there's a 6-inch gap,
he's down.
People are like, holy crap, look at that hill. It's 6 inches high. Like, that's the way farmers describe their land in this area. It's like, see that hill? And you're like, what hill? And they're like, see that grade? It's like, you know, like 2 inches higher than the rest. You're like, fuck off. That's not a hill. You know, like, fuck. Right? So I'm downhill from Ryan. I couldn't toboggan to him, but he possibly could toboggan to me. It just might take a couple of decades.
You got to get some snow dogs.
You'd have to have a long winter.
Yeah.
Fill those like barrels up with vodka and some whiskey, Ryan, and head over.
There you go.
You can record it.
Yeah, get the St. Bernards out front. We'll send a couple of St. Bernards for you.
Yeah.
So I got another question for you, Brian. So you said you play video games, right? To like, you know, spend time, have fun, whatever. How does playing them make you? How do they tend to make you feel? Do you ever feel? I mean, have you ever played a game where it just made you so sad? You're like, fuck, that's sad. Like, I want to cry right now.
No, I'm a man's man.
Oh,
I do
whoa.
not cry.
Oh, eh.
I'm sorry, I love you guys. I would come to your funerals, but I will be the robot sitting there showing no emotion. My grandmother dies, I sit there and look like a robot. The wife's grandmother dies, I sit there and look. People make comments like he doesn't show any emotion. Yeah. But I'm a person that I deal with things very quickly. Like, you're old as fuck. You're gonna die. You died. That's life. Let's move on and do other shit. You know, because you wouldn't want me sitting there going, boo-hoo-hoo, Jesus died. Boo-hoo-hoo. I'm like, who the fuck's replacing Jesus on HGP this week? Let's get this shit fucking going.
Damn, yeah, you replaced me in the same week I die?
The show must go on, right?
If you're on a Saturday, we're replacing you that fucking day, right? Like, that's what I'm assuming.
Damn.
It's not even cold yet.
Damn.
Oh, no, hell no. No. But
I know who I'm going to come back to haunt when I die.
You won't be able to cross the border. I'm sorry.
Oh, man. Good one. Oh, man.
So they don't let the American ghosts over either.
Oh, man. Damn.
You could probably haunt me when we retire because the wife wants to do the whole traveling the states things. Like, I've been to I've been to 49 states. I've seen Alaska. And I just haven't been to Hawaii, so that's on the list to do to be to really every single state.
Right.
It's an island.
The thing is, you go to the States a lot, right? You just wait at the border for you.
There you go.
Sure, right? They'll just haunt me as I'm going to the Michigan game, right? They'll be like, woo!
Sit there, yeah, woo!
That's exactly how I'm gonna sound. That's exactly how I'm gonna sound when I become a ghost, just like that, guys.
You didn't cry at my funeral.
That's right. I won't. I'm sorry.
Right. You asshole.
Yep.
Awesome.
Sorry, that's just not me. So, you know, but no, there's no game moments where I've cried. There's no sad songs that make me cry. We were talking about this last night on my friend's podcast, and they were talking about sad songs, and I'm like, sorry, like, I just don't delve deep enough into things to get that emotionally attached, you know.
Not
like,
in touch with your emotions, man.
Yeah,
that's that's good. That's not good.
We need to get you in touch with your emotions. That's the goal of this podcast today. We're here to help you, Brian.
But maybe more in depth, Brian, like, do you ever play a game that just kind of makes you feel like, wow, that was a powerful experience, you know? Like, maybe not so much emotional and
some examples. Yeah, some examples for me would be like The Last of Us. Those beginning moments, that first section of the game where the daughter dies. You know, Joel's daughter dies or whatever. Like, that shit right there hit me, dude. I was like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah,
they really just do this? Did they really just fucking do this? Like, I felt horrible, dude. I had to put the controller down.
That's like Max Payne or something, you know, where it's very rough and, you know, he's just always hyped up on drugs or alcohol. And
that's how he lives his life.
You know, and he left his wife or she died and just shit like that, you know?
Yeah, but then I look at that and I'm just going like, dude's cracked out going to try and kill people because his wife. Like, dude, clean yourself up first, then go hunt people down, right? Like, clean yourself up, you'd be a better fucking shot than, like in Canada, we have safe sites, right? Like, go clean yourself up, then go kill people. Like, fuck, man, get this shit right.
But no, he wouldn't be able to go into slow motion. That's how he goes.
His brain cracked out thinking he's slow motion.
He's really going like
they're all staring at him like, what the fuck is this guy doing?
Right?
Going to rehab.
He's like diving through the fucking windows and shit all cracked out.
Right?
What's he doing?
And he would die quickly.
Exactly, right? He's sitting there like, oh no. Capping your ass and we're moving on, right? So
how does he still dodge our bullets? I don't know.
What the fuck's he doing?
The force, right? Maybe he's got a Jesus ghost spirit that blocks the bullets.
He probably does.
Like,
only if he's in the U.S. though.
Yeah, that's right.
Awesome. So let's go on here and let's talk about your feelings a little bit more. Do you feel that gaming?
Lovely.
Do you feel that gaming has affected your life in a way that is more positive, either or negative, or neither? I mean, how do you feel games have affected your life?
I'd say pretty good, because when I was younger, like the first computer I got, the way I got that was because I wanted to play monster trucks, because I loved monster trucks.
Okay.
So my parents bought me a computer to play monster trucks. So I learned how to drive monster trucks, and just like Ryan, it taught me how to change gears. Like, because at that time I was only 8, so they wouldn't let you drive the stick tractor. You could drive the automatic, but not the stick.
Mm-hmm.
I learned how to do that from gaming, which was good. So it helped me that way. And then I played a fucking shit ton of SimCity 2000. So that really taught me how to build different things, and like this group doesn't get along with this group, and this group doesn't get along with this group, and these little light infrastructures don't like to be next to heavy infrastructures, and balancing and trying to figure out what people like. So that kind of helped me out realize that, like, just because I like something a certain way doesn't mean somebody else is going to like something a certain way, right? It's as long as the job gets done and it gets done properly, I don't fucking care, right? So I kind of got over that kind of moment way back then.
Cool.
Yeah, it was a great game.
Yeah.
SimCity 2000. Played that.
So I was going to ask you, my next question actually was, have you learned anything from gaming? But apparently you have.
There you go.
So you
I
answered my
answered 2
question.
questions in one.
Yeah.
That's how good he is. He's answering these questions
Ahead of time.
ahead of time.
I don't need a farming simulator to teach me how to farm either, so, that's all hands-on down here.
Oh, Jesus.
What about
you
The
taking
Sims?
shots at me,
Is that
buddy?
something you've been interested in?
No, I never played the Sims game. The wife had that when she moved in. We do own that on 360, but that's nothing that I've ever been interested in. If I want to do something in real life, I'll go do that in real life. I don't want to play somebody playing something. I want to do it, right? So.
Yeah, but I mean, I want to fly a 747. I can't go fly one in real life.
Yeah, but he's talking about The Sims, where it's like, hey, you're basically a life simulator.
Yeah,
where
it's
it's
life.
You want to go to the bar with me? Well, let's fucking go to the bar then. I'm not gonna log on to my Xbox to go to a fake fucking bar.
Why am I gonna try and get a job in a video game? I don't want to do that.
So Brian, you're telling me you wouldn't play Job Simulator?
In VR, right?
Ooh, in VR though, jeez, I don't know. Does it come in dynamic 4K or ultra 4K?
I thought it
Dynamic.
looked pretty cool on the PS4. Oh, well, that was just the demo from E3 from 2 years ago. But
it's funny, it's a goofy
gimmick,
game, but yeah, it's a gimmick. Like, it's something you'll do for 10 minutes and then be like, okay, I'm done with that.
You'll never play it
you could
again.
show other people, check this out.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I own a job. I do a job that's kind of different than everybody else, so I just kind of do it, go to work, and come home, right? So that's life.
Oh, what kind of job do you have?
I work in a factory, so I'm a supervisor, but we make, those bedding plant trays that you get in the springtime with all the pretty little flowers in it, the black ones?
Oh,
Yeah.
the plastic ones?
Yep, we make all those. We ship worldwide, so I'm making plastic and then drawing it out and changing molds, and, no day is ever the same. Like, you guys know working in the shop, right? Like, nothing's ever the same. It's like, today everything runs great. Okay, it's been a light day. The next day you go in, the plastic sucks. this mold's broken, this punch is broken, and you spend 5 hours welding and grinding, and then I come home and look like I've been shot up with something, but, that's life.
Yeah. Machine shop life. All right. Next question, guys, before he answers it. How much gaming do you consider to be too much gaming, and why?
I don't put it as a number, kind of like M was talking about on last week's Spotlight episode. I just kind of look at it as if it's affecting your daily life. Like if you guys are calling me now, I wouldn't say, oh, I'm sorry, I'm in the middle of a game right now. Like Ryan, once I said when he asked what I was doing when he was playing Monster Hunter, I'm like, oh, I'm just waiting to talk to Jesus, and he's like, oh, do you want to do that now? And jumped off, and we started early, right? So that's the way I feel about it. As long as it's not your only life, unless, of course, you're doing an esport where that's your actual job, get the fuck outside and do whatever, right? Like, you can't bang bitches playing video games. Your dick's still going to sit there as a hard-on. You're not going to end up getting off, right? Like, you got to go out and get a little ass once in a while.
Yeah, that's true.
I like that. Oh, man. Yeah, it's true. That's true.
Prioritize.
Can't get no pussy playing video games.
Well, I'm pretty sure there will be an Xbox that comes out with a fake pussy in it at some point in time. It's just not at this current generation. Maybe that'll be the Xbox One P, right? You don't know, so maybe. It's
Oh, I'm sure they already have that stuff in Japan.
Somewhere, somehow.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
I've seen a vibrator that you play a little game with your pussy to do exercises, Kegels and shit.
Yes.
And it's like a thing you stick in there and you play a game on your phone. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, we've talked about it on the show, actually, so it's pretty weird. Moving on to the next question. What is your favorite thing about gaming or about the games industry? What is your favorite thing about it?
I just like it, like I say, because I'm into different games. So once again, Forza, for instance, I like that it gives me that option of driving million and billion-dollar cars. That for my life, some of those I'll never ever see in my life, right? So it's cool to get to that kind of experience, that kind of stuff, without paying that kind of money, right? So, and then just like Star Wars, now I get to go shoot a laser, even if it's not in VR. I know, but you're still able to do things that you normally can't do on an everyday basis or in your area. Like I say, we live in a really small area. I don't want to drive 5 hours to go shoot a fucking laser at a target. I can stay home and do that and save myself a couple $100, right? So that's my favorite thing about it, as well as just the meeting of people. The socialistic aspects towards gaming these days has just changed completely. Like you guys were talking to him last week, and how Ryan had said he had kind of closeted himself towards expressing he was a gamer, and it's like I just didn't really care, right? Like I'm too free-flowing that it's like, yeah, I like playing video games, so okay. And now it's just common. Like when you load up your Facebook on the Xbox app and you see all these people in your app and you're like, holy fuck, I didn't realize all these people played. It's like, this is awesome. So now you get to, like I've caught up with people that I haven't seen since high school play, or that I went to college with that live way out the other side of the country now. So, you just kind of, you always talk about those fun times you had in a real personal relationship. And then you build off that. Because you get randoms and, like, if they're a funny guy, you add them, like, oh, they had a couple one-liners, all right. And you chat with them, and now you're worldwide. Like, I talk to people in Australia and shit because I work midnight, so I'm opposite shift to everybody else. So, you start talking to different people in different areas and you learn about different things. Like, that's what I like about gaming, is learning about different people, different things, and different situations. So...
Yeah, it's pretty incredible how many friendships you can build upon gaming, man. I built many friendships on gaming alone. Like
gaming's come a long way, man.
I could say that like 90% of my friendships are from gaming at this point. The people that I talk to.
Not on your pretty looks, that's for sure.
Whoa, guy, whoa. But talking to these guys every week, on the show and stuff, we all met through gaming. That's how we met, So awesome. What is the worst thing about the about gaming or the gaming industry that you hate the most? What's the worst thing that you think is in the gaming industry?
It's just the bitter betweenness of people, right? Like PlayStation and Xbox. Like, we can't get along. Oh no, we can't play together. Oh no. Who fucking cares? If they purchase the game on your console, be happy they purchased the fucking game on your console. Let them play with other people. Like how Jonathan was saying in the episode from last night's episode about Titanfall. If he got into a place and seen 100 players in that match, he's like, fucking right, he's getting a raging boner, excited he's able to play with somebody, for fuck's sakes. Yeah. So if you were able to get another 100 players from PlayStation, it's just it might keep games going longer, right?
Yeah.
But they don't want to do that, right? Like, it's like we teach our kids to be respectful of other people and play nice and share things, and then when we get as adults, we're like, fuck those guys. This is my shit over here, and I just don't understand it, right? Like, that's my main issue. The second issue I have is just the constant game turnover with the same skins, like Fortnite, PUBG, Solid Metal Gear, right? Like, it's the same fucking game. You've just put, like, the guy, instead of wearing purple, is in blue. I don't fucking care at that point, right? Like, I can move on and play something else, right? So that's my only thing, like, because you guys know what it costs to just constantly, week after week, purchase games, and it's like, holy fuck, like, I couldn't imagine my fucking Dutchman heart would have a heart attack if I bought an $80 game every week. Because my justification stance, like the way I justify about purchasing something, I work with a very religious guy, and he drives me nuts. Like, I mean nuts. And how I justify purchases is I go, okay, I make X amount of money, in an hour. How many hours do I have to work to purchase this? How much bullshit with this guy do I have to put up with to purchase this game? If I have to work an entire day to play one video game and put up with this asshole, I'm like, that video game is not bringing me that much enjoyment at the end of the day. I'd rather take that $80, take the wife out to the movie, and hopefully get a helpful handy on the way home, right? Like, and be up $40.
Right.
I like your justification. I actually do that as well when I want to buy stuff. I think about how many hours I work and how much money I make per hour, and I do that same thing when I think, okay, I work this many hours, I make this much per hour, and then I do the math. That's why I like video games that are a little bit longer than usual. Because, I mean, if you get a game that's only 5 hours long and you've paid so much money for it, it's like, it's not worth it, right? At that point.
Well, that's what I found funny with PUBG, how you guys were talking Game of the Year and, that kind of stuff. I remember when the first Battlefront come out, and I bought that Star Wars Battlefront, and they were taking such a shit kicking because there was no campaign. It was all online, and that was it. And now I'm like, what the fuck is PUBG? It's all online and there's no campaign, you fucking cocksuckers. Make up your fucking mind on what you guys want. Like, Jesus Christ.
That game changes us, man. It's a new trend every week.
Right. Like, the next trending thing that every week is, what's Game of the Year? So, yeah.
But that's just how I find things funny, right? Like, one game will take a shit kicking for doing something for so fucking long. Oh, you can't do that. Then this game 2 years later does that, and they're like, it's fucking
this is the best thing ever! Yay!
Fuck, man. Like,
we love PUBG.
Did that.
Jesus Christ.
Right? I'll give you
Brian,
that.
I'm sure you remember back when it used to be all about the P's, and now PUBG's like, this fucking game has no P's, but it's the best ever.
Yeah. Right? Like, it's one of those things, right? It's like just things that were popular when we were kids are back out again, right? It just all goes in cycles. So I'm pretty sure there will be a cycle where all of a sudden nobody will do a battle royale for a game again, right? Because they'll be like, nope, it costs too much money, too much server space, too much bullshit. Fuck it, well, I'll go back to campaigns. And then they'll slowly start coming back out with it. That's just what you see in trends, right?
Yeah.
Trend one way and then trend back, and trend one way and trend back. So I'm assuming we'll get away from the whole PUBG thing soon enough, so.
That's just how video games are, though, man. They've always been like that since the beginning of time. I feel like, you get these trends going. All of a sudden, RPGs are the thing, and then Skyrim will come out, and RPGs are the coolest fucking thing ever, and everybody wants to make an RPG, and then, then that dies off, and everybody wants to make a single-player game, and then that dies off, and then everybody wants to make a multiplayer online-only game, and that's the rage right now, the online gaming. Yeah, that's why we like PUBG.
See, and I kind of like a mix, right? Like, I was not happy with the first Battlefront. I loved that game, but I didn't like that everything was all online, because at that time, internet's fucking balls expensive at that time, right? So it was like, fuck, I can't afford to pay another $30 a month just to play an online game. Now I've spent $80 for the game, and now another $30 every month to play this game online. Like, like that wasn't my thing. Now prices have come down a bit, so it's something a little different, right? So that's why I kind of like a campaign. I kind of want the best of both worlds, right? So
yeah. Well, I like how you brought that up, because I bet there is people that listen to the show that probably get mad at us for hating the game like 3 months ago, and then we love it now all of a sudden. Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure people do that all the time on our show, especially with me, because I change my mind about a game in a week.
Yeah, you kind of change your mind on games like you change your underwear, I assume. So, your front, your backs, your side, and then, I love this game once you had to change your underwear. So that's what I
have fresh underwear on all the time.
Exactly, right? So, because look at one of your games of the year was Andromeda. You loved that game. Fuck, there was Pathfinder fucking Jesus songs, for fuck's sakes. For weeks.
Yeah. Right.
And then you can't even put it in your top 3. Like, how the fucking hell do you do that? Right? Like, it just, like, Jesus Christ, grow a fucking pair of balls and speak for the game you love. Oh.
Well, there was other games that I liked more than that, I think, or I enjoyed more towards the end. And then looking back at it was like, it was good at the time, but now there's new games out. These games deserve the spot. Yeah.
See, you took off the rose-colored glasses and realized that it was actually a turd?
No, it wasn't a turd. The game was good. It was fun, and I enjoyed my time with it.
See, my thing with that is, I kind of see that as I do the Grammys or award season with the Globes, right? It's that game that you're just currently playing because you haven't gone back to play Andromeda, so you kind of forget the love that maybe you had for it or the things you kind of didn't like about it, and you're just kind of like, you're on to PUBG for that time, or Assassin's Creed, so to speak. So
yeah, but I think we give our early games a fair shake. I mean, I tried to keep in mind things that came out early, like Resident Evil and stuff like that. Like, I really enjoyed that game, so it got on my list,
Right, but it's one of those in the forefront of your mind, right? Like with women, right? It's the woman that's giving it to you at this current point in time that you love, not so much that other one, even if she did the crazy shit that you loved better, right? Like, it's just the shit that's moved on to today.
It's all about.
That's how video games work, man. It's the current stuff that we care about. Fuck, we don't really talk about old games.
I think we could all kind of look back at that, and like Brian mentioned, movies and stuff. You can go, oh, did they make that movie in 2017? And then you both Google it and look at each other and go, oh, yeah, they did.
Yeah, you forget stuff that come out in January and February. It's just you're onto the new year. You're like, fuck, it's another goddamn year. Jesus Christ.
No, see, I scroll through a list of the games from that year and then pick from that list. You know what I mean? What I think should be on my list.
But see, that's how I find it funny, because see, now Gunny, for instance, he doesn't listen to your own show. And I know this because I remember Ryan stating for a fact that Micro Machines sucked dick and that it was such a big disappointment. And then Gunny's on the show like, hell, I went through this game and fuck, it sucked dick. Like, dude, I could have fucking told you that 6 months ago. Save your time. Like,
but the reason Gunny played it is because we're game sharing now, so he has that game.
I understand that aspect, right? But
so the good thing about it is now you've had two perspectives, and both perspectives said that game wasn't very good. So
right. That's exactly it. Like I said to you. Once you had come out, that's why I was asking questions about Micro Machines so much, because I love that game from the original, and I wanted to buy that game. And then I'm like, ooh, geez, that's a pretty pricey, steep point. And then once you're like, yeah, there's no way it's worth that money. I'm like, if he's saying it's not worth the money, this Dutchman's definitely not going near that fucking game. So,
but I wanted to double down on that, Brian, and just say, yeah, it's an awful game.
Drop down to like
confirmed.
$20 now.
Awful game.
Just confirmation here. That game sucks.
I do have a question about that. Does it kind of bother you when you're in Walmart and you see a game that you paid $80 for in less than a month? It's on the it's in the cheapo bin for $20.
Yes. Yes and no, because it's on sale and you're like, fuck, I could have saved myself so much money. But no, because like I said before, we as podcasters and stuff, we have to pretty much stay on top of the current stuff, and you just have to. Like, it's like a requirement that we have for doing this show. Like, pretty much, we have to stay on top. Because could you imagine if we were talking about like Wolfenstein right now?
Yeah.
Instead of last year when it came out, like people would be like, "What the fuck are these guys talking about Wolfenstein now for?" And stuff like that. It's just you have to stay on top of the current stuff, man. I feel like October, November, and early December now. Even it's like crazy for us because we spend so much money on games. Sometimes we do get review codes, and yes, we do get those at times, but for the most part, man, all those games are coming out of our pockets.
Oh, I know. That would drive me nuts. Like, there's no way. Like, there's certain games, like Forza, Star Wars games, I'll pay full price for up front. But other games, I'm just like, no. Like, it's gotta have something that makes me want to do it. If not, I wait for it's in the $20 bin, and then I'll pick it up. Because if I don't like it, like, I'm out $20, an hour of pay. I don't want to be out half a day pay for a game. I play it once, and then it sits in the package doing nothing. My small Dutchman heart would freaking cease to exist.
Wasn't that always the best thing about in EB games, GameStop, where I would go in there and $19.99 for this? Okay, sure. And then either I'd love it or it was just straight up boring. So that's the way I felt too. Like it wasn't a big loss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But nowadays we can't. We got to buy the new stuff, Gunny. Like fucking what's that? Monster Hunter World.
Got to buy the premium game.
The game of the year edition or whatever. We can't buy those game of the year editions really because those games usually come out like a whole year after the game released.
Yeah.
Like The Witcher or Fallout, like those games, game of the year editions are out now for $20, $25, and they come with everything. And it's a good deal for the gamers, and but that's that. Speaking of gamers, Brian, what do you picture when you think of a gamer? What do you picture when you think of a gamer? Someone says, "I'm a gamer." What do you picture?
Well, if they have that voice, I assume they're taking dick hard in the ass. That's my first thought. No. It's not a President Trump thing. Like, I don't see a 40-year-old man sitting in his mom's basement, right? Like, because I have so many friends that do games, so I understand that we're multicultural and, like we're different sizes and shapes, and anybody can be anything. So I don't really see it. I just look at it as a person that could potentially be somebody I could game share with or have fun with at a different point in time that we normally couldn't at any other time in life, right? So that's how I kind of look at it when I think of gamers.
Awesome. Yeah, because, I feel like it has changed in the recent, like literally in the last 3 years, I feel like the term gamer has changed completely. Like, it's kind of like, it's cool and normal now to do it. If you were to say that shit like in 2010, people would look at you like, you're a gamer or what? I'm a gamer. You're one of those nerds.
See now, if you said an e-gamer, then I think it's just a small Asian man that has too much time on his hands. Right? That's how I look at that. So,
Yeah. I mean, I could see that. Okay. Moving on now. Do you have any memorable gaming experiences throughout your gaming history? What are some of the most memorable ones?
I remember having Madden 96 on my PC, and I remember taking the Pats to the Super Bowl because they had lost that year and winning the Super Bowl, and that made me happy. Having my first computer that had Monster Jam that I had to redo 3 fucking times to get it to play Monster Jam. Or Monster Madness, sorry, and to play that game, finally, that anticipation of, I wanted it for so long, got this computer, no, it still won't run it. Make a change, nope, it still won't run it. Make another change, okay, now it finally runs it. To finally see that screen come up that you've been waiting for, right? Like, you've been anticipating it for so long, and to finally see that screen come up and go, I'm finally going to be able to be Gravedigger. Fucking right?
Gravedigger.
Monster Jam.
Yeah, growing up in Vegas, I remember when those monster truck shows would come in. I remember Gravedigger was fucking cool, man. Yeah. Oh, okay.
that's my most memorable moments with gaming, is just that anticipation on seeing that first loading screen come up and just excited to finally play something new and something different at that point in time, right? Because they didn't have that. You couldn't play monster trucks like that on Nintendo or on NES or Sega at that time, right? You had to have something more powerful at that time, so thus the PC at that time. But
I feel like we needed a new Monster Jam game. You know, it doesn't have to be the $60, $70, $80 game. Yes, we do.
No,
it doesn't have to be something so epic.
No one wants to drive a monster truck and crash it into shit. Who wants to do that?
Come on.
I just downloaded I seen the sponsorship thing, the new, the dirt bikes, the motocross there. Monster Motocross Madness or whatever. And you just hold a button and let go when you get somewhere and then hit the button again. I'm like, this is so fucking boring.
Dude,
like,
I would totally play a Destruction Derby game again.
Yeah.
You would. You would pay
Yes.
$60 for a game where you're
I
in
don't
a
know about
little
60,
circle.
maybe 30. Yeah, man, you go in an arena and you fucking smash the shit out of each other online? Fucking right, I would play that. That would be awesome.
I don't know, I wouldn't. It would get boring.
Do you remember Destruction Derby, the game? It was on PlayStation 1, I think.
Yes, I do, yeah.
Yeah, I fucking love that game. That game was awesome, man.
I don't know. I would prefer more something like a Twisted Metal.
Like a $20, $30 game, fucking you go into an arena and you just fucking drive the shit out of cars until you can't anymore.
Yeah.
It'd be fun.
Both that and Twist Metal are good. Yeah.
Drop 100 cars on an island.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Now I'm in.
Now you're talking.
You parachute in with your
You
car.
parachute in with the car.
Then you hit the ground and you just smash the shit out of each other, and the last one to survive.
And there's
That would be
boxes
cool.
by a tank. Is that how that works?
That'd be
Loot
cool.
boxes give you different, boosts and abilities and stuff.
There we
yeah.
go. Oh,
And then it turns into like, the fucking circle gets smaller and smaller.
this sounds
And
very
then
good. Ryan.
eventually, you get.
A
This is a
tiny
good
circle?
idea, right?
Yes,
I should
like
start
this, sir.
developing
Yes,
this. You think?
you should. Car Battle Royale.
From HGP Studios.
Yeah.
An indie studio. Guys, let's go on to the next question now for Brian here. Have you formed any meaningful friendships or relationships through video games?
No, I can't say as though through video games I have. More through podcasting than through the video games, so to speak, right? Like there's people I play with online through video games, but most of them I met through podcasting before I met them through video games, so to speak. So other than that, it's just chit-chatting with randoms, so to speak, right? So
Yeah.
Elaborate on these friendships through podcasting that you've made.
Well, I'd say it's like through Facebook, right, or something, or through social media.
Yeah, how is this friendship being made?
Well, I mean, me and you met.
yeah, that's right. Like me
You
and
went to
Ryan
go
met.
see a concert together.
I feel horrible because I was supposed to meet Eric as well, so I would have had 2 out of the 4. But we went to the Michigan game and my kid got sick. And he wanted to meet at a bar, and I'm like, my kid is fucking puking everywhere. I kind of can't drag him to a bar and be like, hey, nice to meet you, as my kid Ralph's all over him. So
Yeah.
I had to cut short, so I felt really, really, really bad that day. But no, like I find podcasting, it's very funny because I can find out people's sense of humor and kind of trend towards people who have the same kind of humor as you, right? You know, dick jokes, pussy jokes, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I tend to listen to them and kind of joke along with them, and then, you know, you get in chat and you just kind of one-up each other with jokes and comments and see kind of where it goes from there. So, but it's like I have friends that do podcasts, and they tend to expand friendships, and they kind of come in, and then you meet new people more that way. I've met more people that way than I have through gaming, but then again, like I say, I haven't been gaming that long. Again, you figure when I had my 360, Xbox Live had just kind of come out. It wasn't really a thing at the time. We got the X, and I steered clear for the last 3 years until now. So, you know.
Awesome. So, let's move on now. Next question. Brian.
I'm telling you, goddamn questions are getting too long. Like, holy fuck.
No.
No, you're good.
Now you know how it feels when we have 50 questions to answer on the podcast.
How many questions did Mark submit? Like, seriously. Like, you should have told me. Like, this is bullshit. Oh, fuck. No, go ahead. It's all good.
Okay, next question. What is your opinion of gaming? What is your opinion on it in general? Like, overall?
I'm kind of neutral because there needs to be balance, right? Like, if you are that 40-year-old virgin sitting in your mother's basement, you need to get the fuck outside. Like, I'm constantly after my kids. Like, we come home, they have to do homework first, and when I say it's time to leave to go do their sports, hockey, basketball, volleyball, karate, soccer, whatever it is going on that time that I got to coach for, it's like, okay, we have to leave. We're leaving now. I don't care if you're in the middle of a game. Put the shit down. We need to go. So I'm kind of neutral on it that way. It has its bonuses, like it can teach you different things, different puzzle solving and that kind of stuff, which can help you in life. It's very good to be able to solve puzzles. But at the same time, if you're just sitting there playing GTA all day, you're not doing nothing except for trying to look for hookers.
Yeah.
So that's not really helping you out in life, right? So it depends on the game, and if you can separate gaming and real life, right? Like, I don't want you to be able to play, if you could play Madden online and be an all-star, great for you, but I'd still like you to be able to know on how to actually fucking play it in real life too, right?
Yeah.
And that does help you. You can sit there and know how to scheme things, right? So that's the way I kind of look at it.
All right. So let's see next question. Moving on. Just going back to your past for your Nintendo days. What did your parents think of video games when you were growing up? Did they tell you it's a waste of time? You're wasting your time, Brian. Stop playing so many video games. Go outside and play with the basketball or baseball or football.
No, we come home from school. Homework had to be done, just like I do my kids. Then we were told to go outside, and we could only play after supper. So after supper, my mom would let me have an hour to play on the TV because we only had the one TV. That's when you still had the RF connection in the back, right?
Yeah.
You had one TV in the house. My mom did not want to sit there and watch me play Mario, watch me play Adventure Island, watch me play American Gladiators all night, right? She wanted Blades of Steel. She wanted to be able to watch her TV. So usually I had that hour before bedtime. Then, okay, shut it off. And at that time, there's no saves anyway. So get your ass to bed and you're good to go, right? So...
Crazy. Okay. Next question. Where do you see the future of gaming going in 10 years?
10 years, I do think they're going to start to get more virtual reality stuff to it. Like you guys were talking about the virtual reality suit, so to speak, the other week. And,
what do they call that?
The e-skin or some shit like that.
Yeah. Right? So I just see it tending to get closer to that. I do see one day kind of being like a Ready Player One kind of situation. I just kind of hope we all don't live in trailers on top of each other in Cleveland, but other than that aspect, I can kind of see that aspect coming more real life. You figure we're constantly into our phones already as it is, or iPads. Your TVs have internet on them to bring in stuff at the same time. So I don't see it's too far off. I don't see it in 10 years, but I do see the VR, the more, Gunny goes to every arcade known to man. We were just in Sandusky, and they had this stand-up where you put the headset on and you can run, and the ball goes underneath you, so you can run in real life and shoot the guns everywhere, turn quick. So that's already out there as it is. So, I can see in 15, 20 years that being in a house. It's not that hard to believe, right? The way stuff comes down to get cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. So now that would be something more fun. But
I would think something more like in Assassin's Creed where you're in Ambrose or whatever they call it. Like it's some kind of like there's an actual headset, but it's not so cumbersome, and it's just all interconnected with your brain waves, and that would be pretty sick. But that's probably more than 10 years from now.
Well, that's what I mean, right? Like that's where I see it too, because for somebody like me, I'd have to be put out. Like I can't have that sitting on my face like that all the time, right? So it wouldn't do it for me, but that would be something fun to do. That's for sure. So, yeah. But I'm waiting to see the injuries, like the injuries from those people playing the arcades, right? They step just a little too far than what they should, because I got big ass fucking feet. 13, 40 wide, like there's no way in hell I'm getting on that fucking thing and doing that, because for sure my foot's grabbing the end and I'm stepping and breaking shit, and I'm like, yeah, I don't feel like paying to repair it. So.
Interesting. So with that in mind, with all that you just said in mind, how do you see society perceiving gaming in 10 years from now? Do you think that in 10 years from now, like, everybody's going to be a gamer, or most people are going to be gamers, or are there still going to be those adults that, like, games are a waste of time?
See, I think, like how you had said, just in the last 5 years it's changed. And I think it's changing every day. Because you got people now, they play on their phones, like they're into their Candy Crush or their Gems of War or their virtual farming or their Farmville or whatever crappy mobile game they got, or even Guns of Boom, like whatever the mobile game is. People now, it's like, oh, I got 5 minutes. Instead of sitting there reading the paper, they're like, fuck it, I can knock a game of Gems of War out. And they'll sit down and just do that. So I find now that you can travel with games and it's a little less suspicious. Like, you know yourself, like 15 years ago, if you sat down in a doctor's office and had seen a 40-year-old pull out a Nintendo DS, you would look at him a little fucking funny. Now they just pull out their phone and you don't know what they're doing. Yeah. And they're just, they're minding their own business. You're like, thank fucking God he's not coughing all over me. That's all you're worried about, right?
Asking me weird questions, sure. Yeah.
That's so true, man. Now I feel like society is becoming so connected. I mean, I was watching real quick earlier today. I was watching the Gears of War championship going on. There's like a $200,000 championship going on, and they had these teams playing against each other. And then, like, you have these commentators, right? They're like, this arena is going crazy right now and all this shit. And then, like, right after that match, they load up the new teams, right? The new players come out. They're loading up for a new match. And then while they're doing that, while they're setting up their gaming gear and stuff, the camera pans out to the crowd, like the stadium, like the people sitting there watching it. And literally everybody wasn't looking at the gamers. They were looking at their phone. Everybody was just like looking down at their phone, just like sitting there like on their phones. I'm like, what the fuck?
Now I have a question. Now I was in Cineplex yesterday. I took the boys to see the Ninjago movie again. Mm-hmm. Thank God I needed a nap. But Ryan, when I was in there, I seen they had a Gran Turismo tournament at Cineplex. Is that something that would interest you? Like, I know you're not a big PlayStation, like you own one, so would that be something you would do to win $25K? Like,
not really. I mean, I know I'm not gonna win a tournament like that. I'm not that good at Gran Turismo where I could pull it off, but I mean, it's cool. You get to go in and play the game on a humongous screen.
Yeah.
I mean, that's cool. But I don't see myself even trying just because,
We're gamers. We're not esports gamers.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, you're not little.
Wait, hold on. I have an esports career starting.
Exactly. We're not Korean, so.
I'm playing Dota 2.
It's like, here's Team Canada. It's a bunch of Korean guys. They're like,
like Team Canada.
Hey, we let those guys in as immigrants, right? We were smart, right? We weren't like the U.S. We weren't like, screw you immigrant guys. We're like, fuck, we need more esports guys. Come on in. Please come in.
All right. Let's move on now to some questions based on HGP. So I want to know, Brian, you tend to leave lots of questions for us, like a lot of questions for us.
Until we calmed them down.
Until we had to calm you down, because we were like, this is getting out of hand. We spent 45 minutes answering your questions in the show. Just your questions, not anybody else's.
Well. We needed filler, though.
Saves them for next week, man. Jeez.
But anyways, one of our listeners, Jonathan, actually, he wants to know. Where do you come up with most of your questions for the show? Like, are you in the shower? Are you driving? Are you working?
Well, a lot of it, like, I do listen to the show, usually Sunday mornings. Usually nobody's up, because I work midnights. And I just sit there and I make comments to myself, wondering questions, different things. Or it's the day of. Like, yesterday's question about the cartoon movies was because we come home and we were watching the Jetsons, the movie. And I'm like, hey, I wonder what those guys... if they were enjoyed any movies, like The Simpsons or anything like that. So that's kind of where I come with those. But any of the gaming specific questions, it's usually based off an episode before, or I've gone back to listen to episodes before the current episode just to kind of get something to pull from before. So, yeah, I just stand in the woods and come up with something.
Walking in the woods.
Walking in the woods.
Remember when we said he was walking through a forest?
Yeah.
You don't even understand. Where I work, there is a legit green space behind it. Yeah. And I was going to go in and do a video from in there, but
you should have done it. Yeah.
That's when it was snowing, and we had like 4.5 feet of snow down here, and I'm like, that ain't fucking happening this week. I don't get fucking paid enough for this bullshit. So.
That would have been fucking hilarious.
Do it for the show, Brian.
And that's the thing too. Working midnights, it's all at this time of the year. I leave at 7 in the morning. It's still dark as shit in there, right? So,
Are you afraid of some owls, Brian? Come on. Are you afraid of owls? Go in there.
No, I'm not afraid of that. But if I'm shooting video, it's just going to look like I'm in a dark room. I could shoot that right now. Shut the light off.
Like one of those fucking headlamps. Turn it around so that it's flashing.
Like I'm a miner. Yeah.
Do
a whole the Blair Witch Project
there
kind
you
of
go.
thing.
Yeah. Have snot coming out your nose and everything. Like, oh,
Guys, I got some questions for you this week.
That'd be so good. All right. Next question. So there you go, Jonathan. There you go. That's the answer to that question. Let's move on now to the next question. How did you start listening to the show, to us, to the Horrible Gamers podcast?
That was because of Clint. Clint had become friends with an actual friend from high school, Sean, who does FYFC, and they had become chit-chatty friends, and he was leaving comments, and I was leaving comments, and then we became friends, and he had mentioned he was going to be on your show. I'm like, well, that sounds like an interesting show. So I turned it on to listen, and I thought it was pretty funny, and I enjoyed it. So I'm like, okay, I'll go back and listen to a couple more episodes, because I do work midnight, so I was able to do that and listen to a couple episodes. I'm like, that's a pretty funny show. So then I hit subscribe, and I was glad I did. And then I just constantly listened, and it was because of Clint that I got into the show. And then the only reason I've stuck around is Ryan. You know, like if Ryan leaves, I'm out. Like fuck, I can't lose Eric and Ryan. Like, oh. I need my man.
He doesn't like you West Coasters.
Not Jesus or Gunny, okay?
Man. No mention Jesus or Gunny. Okay, it's cool.
Hey, if you're on the West Coast, you're on the best coast, so you don't want none of this from over here.
Yeah. You don't want to deal with the beast from the east.
Oh, man.
Whoa.
The West Coast is the West Coast.
You were talking about how big Wing is. How big is Wing? Like, how tall is he? Like,
I imagine he's probably about your size, Brian. Because you're a big guy too.
How tall are you, Brian?
I'm 6'2.5".
So I would say Wingman is probably 6'2" or something like that. Because he is tall, dude. Yeah. He is. Yeah. Even compared to Jonathan, Jonathan's like a scrawny dude, but like, dude, like, yeah, Wingman is tall as shit. He's a scary dude. I was looking at him the other day and I was like, damn, dude, like, I wasn't wrong the first time I said you're huge. You're fucking tall as shit, man. Like, scary.
Brian's like the wingman of Canada.
Yes.
Well, that's funny because it was like I took my oldest son in to get, he has an nose infection. And the girl's like, oh, how much does he weigh? I'm like, well, he was weighed in September. He's like 100. He's put on 45 pounds in 6 months. Oh, this kid is huge, but he's like 5'2". He's only 10. He's 5'2" and 140 pounds. I'm like, fuck, man. Like, that kid's going to be huge.
He's only 10. Yeah,
huge.
That's tall for
going through that growth spurt, right?
Yeah,
man. Yeah, it's that Dutchman, right? And he gets in trouble, so I keep kicking him in the ass, and I think I'm not helping my purpose out, right? So, well.
I'm glad you listened to the show, man. You're one of our best listeners. I would say that. I'm not afraid to say that. You're one of our good listeners.
I do miss the live shows. I do miss that. I will admit that, because I enjoyed watching the show, and then that way I was done Saturday night, and that kind of let me do a couple other things. Now I'm getting the 3-hour podcast this morning, and I'm trying to catch up before we're talking today. And like I say, I still got an hour to go. I'm like, all right, well, we'll get through it. So we'll get it done before tonight.
Yeah. I mean, we the live shows are hard to do, and Ryan is the one that runs all that, man.
Well, and I totally understand that, because when
it was a lot of work.
That's what he said, right?
Out of everybody, you and like a few other people were the only people that were coming, and it wasn't really worth the work that was put in to do the live show, you know. So we kind of it'll come back. I mean, I'm sure there might be a point where we bring it back.
Oh, and I totally understand
right
that,
now.
Right? Like that's just it, right? Like at some point in time, you just have to justify the means and the purpose at the end, right? Like
I think it'll be more of a special thing going on, right? Like our E3 shows or Game of the Year shows, those will be live, whereas this will just be like that way it'll make it feel a little more special.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Well, and if you sat down and kind of planned out the year and said, hey, like this day we're going live, then maybe somebody else, like you make an event, so to speak, on thing and just post it in the group so you can kind of get a justification to see how many more people are interested in that show.
It's really going to show
kind of coming going, right? Like, because there's things that I sometimes forget, and it's like, oh shit, yeah, that's on this weekend, and then I'll turn it on. So,
yeah.
No.
Speaking of that, did you watch our E3 coverage last year?
Yes, I did. As much as I could live. Yeah.
Did you like it? Because we went crazy on that week, man. How many shows did we record in that week?
Well, we recorded
4?
everyone for all the major press conferences, right?
That was nuts, dude. That was intense. Like, I didn't think it would wear us out, but I was like, holy fuck. At the end of that, I was like, damn.
Yeah. But it was fun doing it. Like, it was a blast doing it. So
that's because normally if you were watching it, you'd be playing on your phone or, you'd have it kind of going on in the background. You're kind of doing something. If you're doing the show, you kind of have to be sitting in front of your mic talking about stuff as it's going on, right? You kind of can't be transient with it. You have to be more involved, right? So
yeah.
Well, I think even watching the E3, I thought it was kind of cool, even that was my first time, like actually, taking notes and paying close attention to each thing that was said.
Yeah,
and even I missed a few things, and then talking about it on the show later on that day or the next day, that was fun.
I felt like we did a good job. I was proud of us that day. Those days, actually. And I think this year's going to be even crazier, E3.
And we'll do it all again this year. Yeah!
Yeah! Woo!
So that'll probably be our next live show is E3 if we start doing live again.
So now you know, people. Now you know. And so real quick, Brian, I got a question for you.
I hope you have a question for me. If not, then that means we're done, right?
Who's your favorite host on HGP?
Uh-oh.
Come on. I think you already answered this for us, but we'll see.
Jeez. Jeez, it's just such a toss-up. Like, is there a 3-sided coin I can just flip? Like, is that a possibility? Like, or a 6-sided coin? To be honest, I like the dynamic between the three of you, but I like when you add in the special guest host once in a while. My only thing was I kind of wish I kind of knew who you were having so I could ask specific questions towards that host sometimes, right? Like when you guys had Matt on, I was kind of interested in asking him a couple separate questions specific to what he does, right?
Yeah.
Or wingman for his kind of thing. But, like that's kind of a transient thing too, right? But I enjoy the dynamic that they bring in because, like I love Eric too, but it was like sometimes when it was just like even you guys were making fun of it. It's like Gears of War, Gears of War, Gears of War, Gears of War, Gears of War. But to be honest, I would be no better. It would be like Forza, Star Wars, Forza, Star Wars. So I kind of get when you're into certain things and you just don't want to get out of your bubble, so to speak, right? And I'm very happy Eric's out of his bubble, right? He's in his Wolfenstein bubble now. But I like the dynamic of the three of you guys because you guys play something different every single week and you play together, and then the fourth host just kind of comes in and adds a different mix to it. Like, even when Harlan's on talking about Destiny, fucking shoot me in the brain. But, I will listen to the whole episode. I make notes and stuff like that. So, I enjoy that aspect.
Well, you're taking notes.
He's taking notes.
He's taking notes.
I take notes.
He's gathering the information. He's gathering the information.
He pulls out his notepad and starts taking notes.
Hey.
What?
Brian, I've got that right here, I've got my notepad.
That's right. If you make a note and a comment of it, then you'll never ever forget it. That's the way I am. If I write it down once, I remember it. So we're pretty good.
Most of the time, once we're done these shows, I don't even remember what the fuck we talked about.
I don't remember what we talked about yesterday.
I'm like trying to write the notes at the end, and I'm like, what the fuck did we talk about again?
Oh yeah, when you're writing the show description.
Yeah.
The show notes. Oh,
yeah, we kind of did that this week. Where we were talking in the background about, did we talk about what remains of Edith, or that game that we,
Vanishing of Ethan Carter.
Yeah.
We have to look back on our notes on the computer. I look back at the ones that I actually physically wrote down with a pen. So,
But you still didn't answer our question, Brian.
Who's your favorite host?
Oh, so I thought you were totally.
Oh, yeah, you thought I was going to forget
damn
that.
it.
Jesus, I thought I had totally trumped you there and just kind of skirted the question around to the other side. Damn. No, I'd probably have to say Ryan because we're seemingly most alike. Jesus and me, we're pretty close. Me and Gunny are probably the farthest away from each other on just aspect of games and stuff that we like. So that's just kind of where I base it.
We're Forza.
No,
We're Forza.
We're Forza.
No, I understand we're Forza buddies, but other than that, you're on that COD train over there, and that's not my style at all, right? So, you know.
Ouch.
And
Ben's gonna
Ryan
cry
has
now.
the same kind of musical taste I do too, which that kind of helps. So, you know,
Gunny's
I do
crying
enjoy
because-
this.
We've actually met. We've actually
well, you give me
There's a
that
connection.
job
There's
in the
chemistry, I
back
see.
that time, too. That kind of helped, right?
Skylanders
That's the
Portal.
fun time. Yeah.
This
and
is
that
this
too.
is all while Brian is wearing a Canada sweater there. Or is that a
I know.
jersey?
You know
On
what?
it.
It was funny because I looked over at my closet and went, "Damn it! My jersey's usually in that closet right there. I should put it on too." But
I could change this one. If you don't like this Canada one, I got 4 other Canada jerseys if you would prefer.
I have the black one.
I have the black one, I have the white one, and then I have a couple double IHF ones. And I have the 2010 Olympic one as well. So, yeah, I own 250 jerseys.
Damn Canadians.
Holy crap!
Yep. I don't wear T-shirts. When the hoodie comes in, the HGP hoodie comes in, that's going to the wife for Valentine's Day.
Oh,
So-
there we go. Hell
Yeah.
yeah. Does she listen to the show?
No.
Oh, man.
She finds it kind of funny that I would literally like go running to the bedroom with my phone at 8 o'clock on Saturday to watch you guys. But see, she enjoys. But see, she liked it at the same time because she likes watching like Grey's Anatomy and shit that I can't watch. I can't do doctors. Love you guys. If you're in the hospital, I'm not coming to visit. I faint in hospital. So yeah, so she would watch those, and then I'd come watch you guys, and then at like 11 o'clock, she's like, "Are they done yet?" And I'm like, "No." She's like, "Okay," and then she kicked me to the curb, right? So, well, that's all right. That's life.
Awesome. Good stuff. Good stuff so far. Last question.
Last question already.
This is it.
This is it. What is your
Pressure's
favorite
on now.
favorite HGP moment? You have to have one. I know he does.
So many
He's
with
thinking.
me.
He's thinking. I see him pulling out the notepad.
No specific show, just a general in-moment action.
Yeah, something that happened in the show.
That happened on the show that
Episode number, date and time, stamp.
I'm not, see, like, there's no memorable moments in the actual show. I think it's your post-credit or pre-credit talk. Even on the live show where you guys would just kind of shit-talk each other. That's the stuff that I enjoy the most, right? Like, because the other stuff you guys are down to business, and you're like, okay, we got to knock this shit out, and it's all business-like, Captain Business, right? Business. But this, I'm just, that's more where I am, right? I'm more of a shit talk, have a good time, make some laughs, make some crude jokes, and live life, right?
So you like the clips at the end, the blooper clips.
Yeah,
and stuff.
and how you said there was 10 minutes for this episode. I'm like sitting there an hour and 10 minutes away. I'm like, fuck, I can't wait now. Like this last hour is going to fly by, so I can't wait.
Yeah, there's a long one at the end of this week's show.
But yeah, I do enjoy that kind of stuff. You know, I do.
They're
I
mine
do
as
like-
well. They're my favorite moments as well, Brian.
Yeah, like, and that's just the thing because they're so natural acting. That's what I prefer. I don't like setup comedy. I don't like shit like that, right? Like, I'm not into any of these YouTube videos where people specifically do something to see somebody get hurt. Or the specific, what is it? My girlfriend won't get off her phone and he sits there with the stupid air horn. Like, you're not fucking, that's totally set up bullshit.
Yeah.
Because there's no way in the hell if I drop my $1,000 phone, I can be like, oh, it's okay, honey, because I was on it. Fuck that, you're getting one upside the head for being a dumb cunt, right? Like,
Yeah.
holy shit. So I kind of like that kind of stuff. So that's why I find that, and then how we would interact and make different jokes and just shit talk, right? That's what I like and that's what I enjoy. So,
Awesome, man. That's so cool.
Sweet.
Yeah, we to tell you something, the truth is Horrible Gamers isn't scripted. The whole show is pretty much
kind of go with it.
Oh my gosh. The glass ceiling has been broken.
Yes.
I am shocked.
It's not scripted at all, man. We just go on there. Yeah, it's something that we I don't know. I think did we ever try to do like a straight thing? I don't know if we ever did or not.
No,
I just feel like it doesn't work. But us like the new crew.
We never even talked about it.
Yeah, the new crew hasn't never followed a script.
A light outline of what we've been playing, and obviously the news from the news machine, and that's our script. You know what I mean? The rest of it is just us. It's just us being us and being stupid and goofing around and whatnot. So
that's why I love watching the show, right? That's why I like watching the show. That's why I like listening to the show. The live show is always funny because you see Gunny doing weird shit or Jesus doing weird shit, right? Like they're always doing something. They're not just sitting there like bumps on a log, right? So it kind of always added that aspect to it because I'm a very visual person. So when I see Jesus giggling like a little schoolgirl and you see his chin like way giggle up, you gotta love it, right? Like, and that's what always made the show so much, right? But it's like, it's fun. That's what I like. I don't like scripted things because it's just like, I can do that on my own. Like if I wanted scripted, I'll just read a freaking book. Just print it out and ship it to me as a PDF and I'll just read through it probably quicker, right? Yeah. So that's the way I am though. So
yeah, we don't do that. This week on the Horrible Gamers, we're going to talk about fucking microtransactions and this and that. Like, no, fuck that.
Yeah.
We just like.
And there could be, where
we're going to talk about shit, and then we're not going to remember what the hell we talked about.
We're going to get really mad at each other and yell at each other for 20 minutes about a topic, and then at the end of the show, we're cool with.
Yeah, but that's what a real family does in general, though, right? Yeah. Like that's the way you are with your family. Sure. You yell about somebody fucking was touching my Legos. You asshole, and then 2 minutes later, you can't find your kids. Like, where the hell are they? Oh, they're both in the room playing Legos. You're like, fuck, right? Now, see, none of you guys have two kids because I do have a question. Tell me if I'm weird here. Okay, so I will ban the kids. They'll start, play fighting or whatever. I'm like, that's it. No Xbox, iPad, will like everything, like all electronics. You're done. Go find something to do. Now, when they each have an iPad and they're playing Minecraft, they're fighting with each other in the game, and then they're fighting in real life. But then when you take it away, they're sitting there and they'll go get like sorry and sit there and play it and be all good. And I'm like, I don't understand this. Like, why can you not play nicely on your iPad too? It drives me fucking nuts.
That's weird. I don't know.
Kids, I tell you. I got one 11-year-old.
Yeah, right? I don't know if it's just because I got two boys, but,
Could
that's the thing. It's like, but even if they have a friend over, the same thing. They'll all be playing one thing, fighting on an iPad, and then they're playing Tonka Trucks. So I don't know. I don't get it, but whatever. So
awesome, yeah, man. So well, that's good. That's good. Yeah. With that being said, I think we're done with the questions. Anything else you guys want to ask, guys? Go ahead, ask.
I think we're good.
Yeah,
get us out of here, Jesus.
Thanks for coming on, Brian. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad that my little HP Mini was able to run Skype and it didn't shit out on you guys, so I was shocked. So
good, man.
I definitely want to say thank you for having me on the show. I'm glad you had some questions, not a shit ton of questions. I'm glad I wasn't asking questions. So, but I do appreciate you guys having me on, and I think this is a great segment. It's really cool. I like hearing other people's different ideas on different things. That's why I say I like the special when you guys have the extra different guest on, like Jonathan or Wingman or whatever. That's why I like that so much, right? So,
awesome.
Different aspect.
Yeah, the reason I said this for the last two of these that I've done, the reason I want to do this is for the community to get to know each other, right? Because I feel like a lot of the community is there and we're all gamers, but we don't necessarily game with each other. There's a lot of people in the community that don't game at all with us. And I feel like opening these shows up and then letting people answer questions, maybe about themselves or about the way they game or things like that, it tends to maybe get people to want to game with you or open up, or like, hey, I like this Brian guy, let's game with him, or maybe I hate him now and I'm never going to game with him again. I don't know.
I'm probably getting more of that one, but that's late. So, But I will say this: when I do retire, and like I said, the wife wants to travel to the States, we're coming through Oregon, and I want a fucking rooftop party with patio land,
rooftop Switch VR party.
Yeah.
Right? Like I'm gonna do it all. I'll fucking fly Ryan in. Like I won't care. We're gonna do it all. That's what we're gonna do.
Take him with you.
Just take him with you. There you go. Just
maybe
go
we'll
pick
drive
him up.
down and we'll pick up Old Man Gunny at that point in
There you
time,
go.
and then we'll
Just drive up there.
Is on the way driving down, and then Old Man Gunny's not far away. He can get up there himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, like probably 6 hours, 7
Yeah,
hours.
Not too far.
We're looking at another 10 years. Do you really think Gunny will be walking by then? Like,
I'll have a walker.
Of driving, Brian, for us to go out there.
They got handicap parking spots
There
where
you go.
Jesus lives.
They do. It's Oregon, so there's always handicap spots everywhere, man. There's no worries about that.
What are you
Yeah.
saying? You don't have handicap people?
We do. We have lots of handicapped people in Oregon. It's just
Well, why is there so many spots then?
it's a tolerable it's a tolerable state.
Got me 1 foot in the grave.
I don't know. Ryan can't talk. His community has to get hit every Christmas. They have to send police officers out to teach people not to fucking park in those spots.
Really?
yeah.
Every Christmas time, November to December, they do this big blitz where the police will literally park the car in front of the store, watch people park right in the first spot, get out and walk, and they're like, "Do you have a permit?" No. Well, here's a nice $700 ticket.
Damn.
Like,
Yeah.
That sucks.
fuck.
I never do that, man. Never.
Yeah,
I don't
do
get that either. I have a crack in my ass, but it ain't that big.
If you can walk, you walk, fuckers. Don't park in the handicap spots.
Well, yeah, because
Come on.
I've blown out my knee, and I had partial one, so I was able to park there for a little while. Because I do all the grocery shopping like yesterday. My wife wasn't feeling well. I worked midnights. We're working 6 days a week right now. Come home, picked up the kids. We went out shopping. Then we went to the movies. We went to Michael's. Things. So I had one for like 2 months because I blew out my knee. So, you're on crutches. You can't be fucking parking way out the middle of nowhere. And people just look at you. But
No, I hate when I see someone park in that spot and then they just get out and like totally fucking walk like there's nothing wrong with them.
Yeah,
to
like
the
super
store.
brisk.
It's like,
well, yeah,
what
like
the hell are you parking there for? Like,
yeah, like the neighbor has his mother's, and I keep telling him that's still the fine.
Yeah.
Because if that person's not with you, that's still a fine. And he's like, no. And I'm like, God, I hope you get a fine soon. So
yeah.
The one that always gets me, I think, is when somebody has like, when they raise their vehicle 2 to 4 inches and they hop out like with the super quickness. You know what I mean? When they just jump out of the vehicle like,
Yeah, it's like
they
some
were on
big
fire.
fucking Hummer.
Like,
we
I'm like,
had
whoa,
a
like really? Come on.
Big F-250.
I get it, Grandma's not with you, but jeez.
we had a big story in our little community. Facebook went crazy because there's a guy and he's on disability.
Uh-huh.
He owns a big Dodge Ram fucking pickup, and it's lifted by 6 inches. And he's got the fucking ticket in there that he can park there, and he's got the back loaded with 2 4-wheelers, and he's hopping out and he's parking,
Yeah.
not across one, but across both, because he doesn't want anybody nicking his pickup. And I'm like,
Oh, I hate those assholes,
that
dude.
guy.
I hate people that park like that, or the douchebags that like park in like 3 spaces or 2.
I
Why?
always park as close as I can to their fucking vehicle.
You
I'll be like, yeah,
asshole.
asshole, fucking watch this. Have fun. I hope you don't dent mine or your door.
Yeah, those fucking people, man.
I
Those
love
people.
videos where you see people they'll get the street chalk out, and they'll draw the arrows, and they'll write asshole underneath, and they'll point the arrow to that car. I always find those funny, right?
That is fun, yeah. I've never
Or
seen
when
that.
they zip tie a fucking cart to the door.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, there you go,
Sometimes we get a
fucker.
Walmart. Yeah.
Okay, but now from the other aspect. Now, I bought my I own a Jeep Patriot. I don't own a big fancy Jeep like Gunny.
Oh.
But,
Oh, God. Okay, that's the wife's.
But the first time I got it, I parked away
Gunny
from
drives the
everybody,
Hummer.
right? Because you're still learning how to park it in parking spaces, right? So when you're at Walmart, you're like, I don't want to take the chance. So I parked away, and then you still get that asshole who parks right fucking next to you. And you're like, I'm fucking 8 spots away from everybody. Like, really? Like, but then again, I guess they spent money. Like, I remember reading a report. The state spent almost $600,000. They did a study on where people park where they park in a parking lot. And they realized, the shock here, guys, you're going to be shocked. They park closest to the door first. I'm like, holy fucking shit. mind.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I used to have a buddy, and he bought a new Camaro. And this was when I worked at EB. He was my manager. And he would park his car, like, in the middle of fucking nowhere because he didn't want anybody parking beside the car. Yeah. You know, always out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, and that's what's annoying is when you do that, and then you come out and somebody's parked right next to you.
Right next to you.
He would get pissed. He would sit there and he could see his car from the window, right? So he'd sit there and he'd see someone start pulling up to park over there and be like, "You motherfucker, you better not park next to my car."
That was the thing because I parked away once. We went to the movies. I bought the car on Halloween 2 years ago. We went to the movies the next day, and I parked way back in the corner, come out, and somebody had fucking nicked the whole side of my truck.
Oh.
And I only owned it one day, and I'm like, I parked so far away from everybody to avoid this. I just want it to look nice for 1 month, right? And then after that, I really don't care, right? But, nope, couldn't even have it a day. Like,
Damn.
It's just like a good girlfriend, right? Just like a good girlfriend. You got to wreck it in the first day, or you just don't appreciate it, right?
Oh, man. But yeah, anyways, Brian, we love you, man. We love all the questions you bring to the show, and you always bring crazy questions.
One minute, I have to stop you right there. You love all the questions within reason.
Yes.
You love one or two. You don't love my never-ending paragraph comments. You posted before, I could ask as many questions as I want, and then you still cherry-picked my goddamn question.
Hey, we got ahead of it for the show.
That's Jesus, because all your questions were in the fucking notes, but Jesus picks and chooses.
Exactly. Cherry picks. He's a cherry picker.
Yes.
Fucking Mexican.
Oh, sorry, for you Canadians.
Whoa, getting racist.
Sorry.
That wall should have been built decades ago. We wouldn't have Jesus as a problem. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Jesus, man. What does Gidget say?
Wait. You can find Brian on Xbox Live, people. Find him. Go at him. G55Train55. And go at him and play games with him, guys. And I want to say a big shout out to the community.
Send him Minecraft invites.
Yeah, Minecraft invites. Roblox.
Love the Minecraft. We don't have Roblox. That's Easter. I'm gonna surprise kids with that stuff for Easter. So.
Oh yeah, the kids love it. My 11-year-old loves it.
It's a free game.
Yeah.
No, yeah, but the money to buy stuff, right? So
yeah, like get them like a $20 card.
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna do the card and then let them download it. They've been bugging for that and that one you guys play with Hello Neighbor or whatever.
Yeah,
Once again, not interested, but they want that too, so we'll see.
Go find them, people, on Xbox Live. And if you want to be on the spotlight yourself, go ahead and message us. You can find us on Facebook. You can message me there. You can message the Facebook page. We'll get that message there. You can message us on Xbox Live. You know our gamer tag, so go message us there. And yeah, find us, people. Find us. Because we need spotlights. Lots of them. Thank you for coming on, Brian.
Thank you very much for having me on. I much appreciate it. So
yeah, get those questions.
Anytime.
It's nice to have a fellow Canadian on.
God,
it's not
the last time we're having a Canadian on. Last time. Gonna offend me.
Yeah, you can't bring anybody else on behind me. I kind of ruin it for everybody
Talk
else.
Shit to me. Want to build a wall around my house. You people.
It'd be cheaper than building a wall down in Texas for some unknown fucking reason.
Don't tread on me.
That's right.
That's right. America. Guys, bye. Bye, people.
Goodbye.
See ya. Bye, Gunny.
Au revoir.
Bye. Peace out, Brussels sprouts, and we'll see you on the next edition of the Horrible Gamers podcast. Bye.